Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to the 205 GTI build. So on this one, we're going to start work on our roll cage mounting feet. So the first thing to do for these roll cage mounts that I'm going to weld in, one here and the same on the other side, I'm just going to level the car up on the body cart that it's sitting on, and then we can get some good measurements as to where the bars are actually going to come off, so the main hoop and where these side bars that come down at the front inner A panel sections, so see where those mounts are going to go exactly. But we're just going to get the car level up first so I can measure where everything's going to fit nicely. So I'll get that done first. Right then, so I've got the shell nicely levelled up on the chassis cart, so I've just laid the spirit level on the sills on both sides, and we've got them nice and level, bubbles in the middle, and then spirit level laid it across the body of the car and got it nice and level that way, so we're nicely levelled up. So now I can work out exactly where the main hoop is going to sit in relation to the body. Now I've got it nice and level, and the same with these front bars that are going to run across and down the inner A pillar and where it's going to sit, so I can see where the mounting plates are going to have to be welded in and mark them. I'm just spending a bit of time with this because what I'm doing is making sure the cage is a really nice tight fit to the shell, and so it's going to fit nicely in the back of the B pillar here, and nicely down the front of the A pillar, and nice and tight. We'll have door braces and that sort of thing. We just want to make a nice tight and neat finish on the cage because the car's going to be used on the road as well. So it's going to be road use as well. So yeah, so that's nicely measured up, so we can mark out where our foot plates are going to be for the cage. So we'll do that now. So I've just cleaned those two areas up for the roll cage mounting boxes that I'm putting in. I've just used those two wire wheels, the cut wire wheel and that wheel, which is a bit worn now. That's getting all of the paint and any body seal that I can get out with the wire wheel. And then what I've done is just gone round the seams. You can sort of see that seam there's quite a bit of body seal in that one, and also along that corner. So just basically used a mixture of that wood chisel and the Stanley blade just to try and get as much out as possible. What I might do is just burn a bit of it out with the blowtorch, so get a bit extra out, just because trying to weld with the seam seal in there just contaminates your weld and makes a bit of a mess. So work out and get a bit more of that, because I want to run a bit of weld along that seam there, in the back of here, down there and through that corner. I'll stitch it all, help to make it a bit more rigid, and then make the roll cage mounting boxes to go on top of there, where the feet for the roll cage will come down and do. Anyway, that's those two areas nicely cleaned up, so we'll crack on and get the templates made for those two. Okay, so I changed my hat. I had my good one on, I didn't want to get that dirty, so put this one on. I've just been, a little update, I've just been making up some templates for the top plate of the little box section I'm making for the roll cage legs. The Motorsport Association in the UK at the present, when this has been videoed, states that you have to have a surface area of 120 square centimetres for the leg to sit on. So all I've done is I want to make some different sizes of plate, obviously in that same area, 120 centimetres or larger, just to see which is going to fit in the area that I'm putting it in the best. So I've just made 3 little templates, so they're all over 120 centimetres square. 2 of them are actually exactly 120 centimetres square, and that centre one 126. So I think I'm going to go with that one. It fits in the area nicest. So I'll just go now and I'm going to make the sides and complete the little box. So I'll get on with that now. Just a little update just to show you what I'm doing and kind of what the process is. So I shall crack on with that now. Excellent. Oops. Right, so I'm really pleased with that. So I've managed to make a couple of templates for the cage mounting feet, these box sections, and I've made them so that I can just take them apart in 3 little sections on each one, just trace them onto the 3mm plate and cut them out. And it does make it so much easier, because trying to work with 3mm plate and get a nice tight fit in, it's going to be more difficult without a nice template to work off. So that's going to make it a lot quicker and a lot easier for doing that, make a nicer fit. Some of you might be wondering, why have I made it like that? Why have I made these boxes instead of just putting a bit of plate on the bottom of the floor for the cage to weld down onto? The reason is because when it comes to welding the cage, because you need to weld around the whole of the seam of the cage on all the joints, which are obviously going to be on the top of the car as well. And if the cage was up against the bottom of the car, you wouldn't be able to get to them. If it was tight again the bottom all the way around up to the top, you wouldn't be able to get to the points at the top where you need to weld in with the torch on the MIG welder. So the beauty about making those templates is that you can just basically tack these templates in temporarily, sit the cage legs on them, cut them obviously the right size to sit on those little boxes, and then when it comes to welding the cage up a height, you can just knock those boxes out underneath the cage feet, just knock them out and the cage will drop down. So then it allows you the space at the top then to get to the cage. So we'll fully weld these boxes up when we've made them. We'll make them out of steel 3mm and then just tack them in place, and then we can just knock them out to do that welding up height, which will make the whole thing a lot easier to get to. But it's just one of the methods that you can do. Some people cut a hole in the floor and drop the cage down through the floor so that they can reach the top, obviously drops it down. And other people take the roof off. So I'm obviously going to make these little cage mounting boxes for the feet. The other thing about this is as well is you tie it into more sections of the car. So if you had a plate on the bottom, you tie it into the floor, whereas that is tied into the sill, it's tied into the bulkhead, and it's tied into the floor. So like 3 sections, the same at the back. It's tied in obviously into the sill, as well as up in the side of the car and the back section of the car. So I think it's probably quite a good way of doing it. So The next bit is really just take them apart and just trace them out of the steel and convert them now into steel. The other thing is, which is really good, I can just flip them round and just use them on the opposite side. So I've got the templates for the far side as well. Might need a little bit of trimming, but should work hopefully pretty well. Just flip them round and use them on the other side of the car as well. Anyway, that's great enough chatting. So we'll crack on and we'll get them made into steel. Really pleased with them, look, that's great. Right then, we'll get these taken apart, traced onto the 3mm plate, and then cut them pieces out. We'll start working with that. I don't know if I mentioned, but the regulations for motorsport here in the UK at the present is that you have to use no less than 3mm of plate, either the same size wall of the tube, no less than 3mm. Right, crack on and get them made now. Awesome. There we go. Okay then. So that's one of the cage mounting feet just tacked together. Just have to cut it out from those templates. So I've just put a few tacks on just to hold it together. It should fit in there pretty well. Yeah. That looks great. Just what I'll do is just go around the outside of that, or what you can do. What a good technique just to get a really good tight finish is just to run around the outside with a pen, just keep it at the same angle and just sort of go around the outside of that, and it'll just leave a little mark on the edge of that plate, where you can just check to see where you need to run a little bit extra off just to run it tight. Looks pretty good along the back, to be honest. To be honest, I'm quite happy with that. The area that needs welding on the outside of that is very, very small, so I'm happy that that'll weld in there nicely. I have a little tiny bit of plate running along the back of here. I'll do that once this is welded on. But, so what I'll do before I put that, weld that in, or just tack it in, I'll run some weld around these areas in the back of there, and then I'll fully weld that roll cage mounting foot up. So I'm really pleased the way they're going to go in. So next one, we'll fully weld that up and then get the next one made for the front here. Surprising how long they take quite a while to do, but once they're done, if you take a bit of time with it, obviously it makes a good job. But massive thanks to everyone for watching anyway, and I'm sorry there hasn't been many updates recently. I suppose it doesn't really take much explanation. There's kind of quite a lot going on in the world, and I've still been quite busy working and caring for the family and that sort of thing. So hopefully things are sort of starting to get a little bit better now, which is nice. So might be able to do a little bit more and keep up to date with a few more updates. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this one. So massive thanks for everyone who's watched. Really appreciate that. It's really kind of you to do that. And if you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up as well. That really helps, actually, giving those thumbs up. It's dead motivating. It really helps in all the comments. We really appreciate that. So if you've got any questions or anything you want to ask us, why am I doing something, or tell us that I'm doing something wrong, which I'm no doubt doing. This is just me, pretty much self-taught. So the things I'm doing are just sort of what I've researched and found out myself, and the time I've spent doing it. But yeah, stick a comment in or thumbs up if you enjoyed the episode. I really appreciate that. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. That'd be great, and you know, keep up with the builds. So there's this one, obviously the 205, the Peugeot 205 GTI, which is going to be a track car, also used on the road as well. So it's going to be road legal. So I'm trying to build the car as close as I possibly can to the motorsport specs or motorsport regulations. So there'll be bits and pieces that I do probably that won't meet them, like the regulations at the moment. But I'll eventually get those things. But anything that's sort of more permanent, like obviously the cage, I want to get that right now, so that it could be at some point logbooked or used in a motorsport event in the future, which would be really nice. But and also the mini build, so that's to be able to keep up with the mini build, the classic Mini Mark 1 conversion with my dad, which I'm sure some of you have probably missed or looking forward to. I know I've got a few comments. I really appreciate people are actually really enjoying that build, and so I'm looking forward to getting back with my dad to be able to crack on with that again as well, which is going to be fun. So lots to come. Like I say, the next time we'll get that taken apart, make attempt to get that one made, the other two made, and get them sort of welded in, tacked in, and then move on from that. But yeah, plenty to do. But again, yeah, massive thanks for everyone watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate that. But that's going to be it for this one, so we'll hopefully see you on the next one.